if you just need a simple recommendation for if you should get the game, yes or no, then just go ahead and do it. Go in blind, don't look anything up, don't look at anything else, don't look at our thumbnails, don't look at our theories, just play the game. The only thing I recommend is that within the graphics options before you start playing it, turn on the CRT mode. Thank me later. This video is going to be filled to the brim with spoilers around the ending, and essentially is going to be containing what I would say is my interpretation of the entirety of the story. This little front section here has been recorded afterwards to basically clarify a little extra point. I've looked up the alternate endings. I know of the extra things you can do to get what people would consider the true ending of the game and stuff like that, right? However, I'm here to be extra careful when I say this. I don't care. I like my interpretation, and I think it's an interesting one to have. And it showcases how, hey, you can play the same type of game, but reach different conclusions by picking up on either different points and or negating other little elements within its design and stuff like that, right? The designers very much seem to not be alluding to one ending being the real ending, and therefore seem to want to have speculation and or theorizing about what ending would be real, be a part of the game's experience. And I think that is very admirable, and it's very neat and very cool, and gives longevity to a project like this, because essentially you get to make actual theories not only around clues that you get in game, but also around, you know, your own interpretations you can give to it and stuff like that. And therefore I wanted to just clarify it here, because I can imagine there's going to be some people going, but you missed the ultimate ending where she sacrifices everything and then gets all the 3 keys, skips the boss battle and dances at the end. That is the true ending where you fulfilled the promise, and therefore Cthulhu's butthole will be staring at you. And it's like, I don't care. I like the ending, as I'm going to explain in a bit. And plus I'm going to also basically add some reviewing aspects of it. I don't only talk about the narrative tale and how I interpret it. I also talk a little bit about my experience with the gameplay, with the puzzles, with the graphical filters and stuff like that. So I hope you're interested. I hope you take care. This is all taken from the actual VOD. So essentially all the thoughts you're going to be seeing now are the thoughts I had right as I finished the game, which is, you know, rare to put in this type of video. But I hope you get something useful out of it. And hey, if you also experienced this game, tell me what your experience was and how you thought about it. Not what you thought about it after you looked up what you thought it was all about. What was your interpretation? Because that is something actually valuable and interesting. The referenced amalgamation of someone else's interpretation of the game is not as interesting. I could just look up those videos and those reviews. You can refer to them, be like, hey, I think this guy did a good job of summarizing it. You know, that's fine. But if they're not your own thoughts, why mention them, dude? Like, just watch other reviews or whatever. I think there's something interesting to be said here to the different interpretations of one game, right? And very much like the debates that Silent Hill 2 had back in the day about which ending is the real ending, I think this game has a similar thing going for it, where another little aspect I want to clarify with that, right? Which is that I think that the ending I got feels in the way I interpreted it as a satisfying narrative conclusion, which very much is the same as the ending in Silent Hill 2, where James proceeds to just leave the town, where he gets over his obsession with his dead wife, right? And where he takes, I think, the girl, I don't remember what the girl's name was anymore, right? As his like adoptive daughter, and just leaves the city alive, while we hear Mary's final letter and stuff like that. And I don't 100% fully remember it. I just remember that the other endings that involve you obtaining way more items in New Game Plus and stuff like that, that have you dive in deeper into the lore of the cult, never felt as real endings and more as ways for James to continue the loop, essentially, right? And to an extent, I feel very much that this game is similar in that manner. And therefore, with that said, I hope you will join me on what the rest of this video is, which is just this little segment of the ending of the game, the final cutscene that I experienced, and then my thoughts directly after completing the game. And I hope you take something away from this. You know, what are the raw emotions someone experiences after a tale like that? Thank you. Also, by the way, if you're the developer watching this thing, thank you so much for making this. It was great. That's me. I could keep my promise. Despite my best efforts, I eventually fell ill too. It had to end this way. We are in the final minds of myself, aren't we? I'm already dead. This is just essentially my ghost walking around, coming to terms with its demise, I suppose. final end of its programming. So it was never real in the first place. It was real, but all of this is probably in the robot's head. You know how like in the last, it's the whole thing where it's like in the last moments of your life, you're flashed by through your entire life. Essentially, I think it's that, but then combined with the whole replicas have the personalities of other people in them, probably, you know, made us go through that entire trauma of all of it in her head. It's time. This is all that's left. Go home? Sure. I've come back for you. It's me, Elster. Elster? So sorry, but Oh, and she got dementia. Oh, that hurts. Oh, no. It's okay. Oh, and that's where I die as well. That's where I rip off my arm and shit. Oh, clever. Perhaps this is hell. Please, just let me stay by your side a little longer. Touch my head. Game by Rose Engine. Rose engines are okay. Wow. That was good. Fuck. Oh, that's so sad. But it's sad in like the it's sad in like the romantical sense, you know? It's that whole episode 3 of Last of Us kind of thing, you know? The whole rather than perishing into the void alone, trying to stick by the shit, that hits hard. Fuck. Oh, that's some good shit. Fuck's sake. However, this is the best ending. Wait, what? Did I get the best ending from the first go without looking anything? Woohoo! If that's true, I actually don't want to look up the other endings. I very much like this. It's similar to Silent Hill 2, where like I kind of got what I consider best ending the first time as well. No, what do you mean it's not the best ending? I don't know. This is the most romantical sort of ending, you know? It's the story goes through. We had our cycles of being happy together, but this is, I guess what I was saying, right? This is all the final moments in the robot's head as it's losing its consciousness. The person we were with is already dead. Like, it shows our body lying in our room, like, lifeless, right? This is all in our own mind. But in our own mind, before we fade away, we don't want to be stuck with the monsters of our past and whatever. How I'm interpreting it, right? It's like, in the last moments of our conscience or sentience, we choose to be alongside the last memory we have of the person we loved in life. Fuck! That hurts. That hits different. Fuck. The ending depends on how the person plays through the game. Usually people familiar with this game genre get this ending. I guess, right? It's, yeah, no, the moment I knew as well Silent Hill inspired, well, a thing in Silent Hill 2 that's very important is to keep your character healthy. So, like, always heal, don't engage with too many enemies, that kind of crap. So, I guess I kind of did that as well, unknowingly, because it's like, I gotta keep my guy alive, right? I gotta keep my little guy healthy. You don't want him to, like, run around with 1 health. That's sad. Thank you for playing. Aw. Made in Hamburg with love. I'm curious to what the other endings are though. But I find that this is the most bleak ending IMO. It's kind of bleak, but it's sad. It's either way you look at it, it's sad, right? However, what this, again, the way I'm interpreting it, this is Elster choosing within her last moments of consciousness, of sentience, of whatever her little processor is able to like process. She is choosing to, well, fight through all her demons, stick by whatever memory fragmentation or whatever the fuck is left of our loved one, and they put their little hand on our head. That is our end. That is our how we choose to perish in the world. We were doomed from the beginning, and we had a great life throughout, but at the end, oh, actually we had a terrible life throughout, but like in the middle part there was a good section there, and then at the end we chose to, you know, go into the cold, at least surrounded by what we liked, instead of, you know, dying in pain or dying in that kind of crap. I like it. Fuck, that hits hard shit. Do we have one tier? Do we have a tier? It's a beautiful game though. Fuck me, it's a beautiful game. I feel like the whole, okay, it's inspired by Silent Hill and stuff like that. I expected gut-wrenching. I didn't expect the gut-wrenching part to hit that hard. Because I'll be honest, when I played Silent Hill 2, and that maybe says more about me than something else, I get the twist, and it's a cool twist, but it's more like I just appreciate the way in which it's told, but it doesn't like hit me in the gut that much, right? And I don't know if it's because it's the anime girls and the anime aesthetic that just makes me like it more, and the fact that it's like, oh, it's this cute little love story in space by a, you know, fascist government that send them out there to essentially to die Iron Lung style. I don't know, something about like the hopelessness, the bleakness of it all is very pretty. Of course it's a German game, you know, because only there are those people would just decide to like make the most depressing fucking shit ever. Saying it as a European, by the way, so like that's why, like, it's a funny stereotype, but it's also very apt for this thing. To be fair, the art style of this game is insanely good. Yeah, because, okay, so this, I was willing to talk about this multiple times, but I never really found a moment to really engage in it, and it's that this game's art style knows what it is. It's going for a low poly look, similar to the early Resident Evils on PlayStation 1, right? And it uses that to the best of its abilities. Retro pixel art for the walls and stuff like that. Low poly 3D models that essentially just have the outline of our characters, but with well done textures on it. Totally sell our environment. However, I still don't agree that this game starts with the CRT filter off. It's an optional thing you have to turn on in the options menu. And so I have this sneaking suspicion there's going to be a lot of people out there that don't experience it in the way that I find is better. Now, you could say that's just a subjective opinion, Tori. That doesn't necessarily... Having the whole, like, old-schooly retro game filter on everything like the old TVs makes it better. It's like, no, I am right, you are wrong. Yeah, but no, I like the cleaner look of the pixel. You are wrong. You are wrong. You are wrong. I will not concede on that point. The added detail and granular detail that adds, selling as well as the look as if we're looking into this other like grimy grimdark world, you know, it's technology old and shitty. It adds to the vibe so fucking much that I find that it's like they added it because it was part of their vision. I'm just what do you call it? I'm just confused as to why it's not on by default, or why there's not a like little text box that says, hey, for the optimal experience of how to experience it how we've envisioned it, turn this thing on, because it really does help the way it looks. You know, I understand the choice. I think it's intimidating for people who don't understand the artistic intent, but I think the filter probably is the intended experience. That's what I mean. Like, yeah, like the filter I think is the intended experience, which is why I find it weird that it's not on there. However, one thing I will concede on, and it's something that probably is part of the reason, right? Granular detail like a CRT filter add a lot of detail to this thing, right? Which means that for streamers and Let's Players, usually it's not that preferred to have it, because unless you're uploading this as like if you're not live streaming, a lot of this detail will get lost anyway, and or will make the stream somewhat blurrier. I find it adds to the experience, because I think that this is the intended experience. However, encoders and technology doesn't like this much data to be transferred over, right? Because usually it's not necessary to have that much data over. That made sense. I have a video on that, by the way. It's a little bit of an older video. I might need to I don't think I have to remake it because my point is still stands, right? Because I also, the funny thing I do within that video is I actually take a camera out to point it at like the CRT filter to show, not just to show what the filter does essentially, but also show it at like get it at a TV and show it that way. The point is that people are misremembering games and how they look because they just don't realize that TVs had an inbuilt filter over everything, which is why if you get like a PS3 game to run on an old fucking TV, it can look way better for some reason than on a flat screen TV, and it's because that extra detail breaks up the textures and stuff like that. If you've ever wondered why, hey, sometimes I remember these games looking better, it's because they did look better because they had an extra piece of detail on them that just not got lost necessarily, just, you know, wasn't on there. However, enough about the CRT talking. More back to the game talk, right? Beautiful little game. Fuck me. Little romance, melancholic, sad, tough as nails. But I will say one thing: the keyboard and mouse experience is ass. Why? You don't allow me to button map my controls by themselves. It's like you have these two controls, and it's like these are it. Let me fucking customize this shit to how I want it, please. The controller, however, really good. Okay, the aiming is a bit slow sometimes with it. Oh, true, the game is definitely built for a controller, and I think that slow aiming adds tension. No, the slow aiming is good. It adds tension. It is an intended experience thing. The one thing that's kind of wonky is the hitboxes on the enemies. They're kind of weird and unpredictable because you can kind of bait them, but then sometimes their swings get you anyway, and it's a tad bit annoying. The final section, I really felt like I had to combat every enemy there, although not as much as I thought, which, you know, fine in the end. This is an ending I feel content having played, you know? I'm curious to what the other ones are, but it's not like I need those to feel more fulfilled. This is a fulfilling ending I find that I got. The best thing about this game is not the combat, by the way, because the combat is not that great. Like, it's survival horror, it's good, it's puzzle combat, right? Which gets to what this game is great at. Not only how it presents itself and the mystery constantly builds up, you know, and not leaving everything fully implied, and through details you kind of pick up on like, okay, there's some shit going on here, right? What I find the best part of this game is its gameplay in the manner of puzzles. These puzzles were fucking good. Why? To explain it like this: they weren't piss easy. There are games that have puzzles in them that aren't puzzles, you know. For as much as I'm liking Tears of the Kingdom, let's be honest, most of the puzzles are just kind of like ways to figure out how to work with physics and stuff like that. And a lot of other games will do puzzles in the manner of bring this to that, collect 3 of that, get 2 keys, and it's like, those aren't real puzzles, right? Like, even in the older Resident Evil ones, you have to kind of think around the box. You have to, you know, you walk around, you capture a thing, it's like, okay, you read a note that gives you a hint towards how to solve the puzzles and stuff like that. You have to go in, you have to write down stuff, you have to take pictures of stuff to cross-reference and stuff like that, or you take a pen and paper and you write down as much shit as you can to sort of like figure out your way through the entire thing. Like that's gaming. That is true survival horror immersion, right? If a game can get you that immersed that you're like, yeah, no, I'm not just gonna remember everything. I'm gonna like, essentially at that last section in like the weird Silent Hill underground metal grate section, I was surprised. I was well enough aware of where I was going because of my orientation, but it would very well be the type of game where you start drawing a little map, right, to help you out, and that would probably help a ton. But I was big brained. You guys didn't realize, but my brain was so fucking big. My demonic powers. No, I'm just gonna go full Chuny here, but like my full brain power was so great, I was able to navigate my way through hell itself to reunite my Yuri waifu thingies. Thank you so much for watching. I think that was a great experience. I'm so happy I am happy I played it blind as well. That is a big thing. I'm happy I played it blind so that I don't get too distracted by it and didn't know all of the story bits. Yeah, I didn't know all the story bits. I will see you guys in the next one. Take care, everybody. I hope you all do well.